Hey there guys, it's Roslyn here, and I'm here to share a small haul from the Not Too Shabby shop that I just got in the mail. And I'm planning to make a card here today with some of these products. So I'll show you what I got. First off, I got this Darcy's Heart and Home clear stamp. And let's see what this one's called. It's called Cuckoo Cachoo. And I picked up another one, a deer one, on my last shopping visit to the site. That was a deer and it had a frame, and then this guy really attracted me because he had a frame, or she had a frame. So I thought that would be nice to line up on a slimline card. And to go with that, I got these tin pins, and I'm just gonna see if I can color those up the same and make some cards with those. Next, I got Jamie's most recent release of these two adorable stamp sets. This one is called Winter Friends with a bunny and a little fox. And this one is called Winter Sentiments, and I love how you can mix and match these sets together. And lastly, I got my first two Catherine Pooler inks that Jamie had in the shop. These were recently released. This is Cranberry Fizz and Deck the Halls. These are my first two ink pads from Catherine Pooler, and I was testing them out, and I don't know why I waited so long. These are fantastic. So I'm going to make a card with these two colors and Jamie's stamps here today. And let's get started. So my plan for this card was to make a simple one-layer scene card, and I really wanted to focus on the new products that I received from Jamie's shop. So I took a piece of Bristol Smooth cardstock, and I've trimmed that down to 4 inches by 8.5 inches. And I'm going to stamp the little critters on my scene using Lawn Fawn Jet Black ink. Now this ink is good to use with alcohol markers of any kind. And I'm just going to stamp these little critters on the lower half of my page here. And to help me with masking, I'm using this Post-it note pad that is actually sticky on the entire back of the sticky note. So it makes for quick and easy masks for your scene building cards. And like I said, I wanted to have this focus on the new products that I received. So I have brought in a couple additional products, for example, the ink, this black ink, and some other products that you'll see later on. So I'm going to go ahead and fussy cut these Post-it notes out, and halfway of cutting these out, I determined that I only needed the top portion of the little images. The bottom portion of the card is going to stay white because they are sitting in the snow there. And after I get these nicely cut out, all I have to do is line that up on the image that's already stamped on my page. I cut quite close to the line, and even cutting off a little bit of the line is okay. Now, once I have that all masked, I'm going to take out these Catherine Pooler inks and a blending brush here. I'm going to take this Deck the Halls color, and I'm going to make that my night sky. You might be wondering, why would you do a green night sky? Well, this color is so rich and beautiful, and I really just wanted to jump in using my new inks, and these were the colors that I have. So it really does turn out nice in the end. I'm just going to blend that around sort of the top portion of my card. And I'm taking my distress sprayer here. I'm taking the lid off, and I'm just going to be splattering some of this water on the background. And what I like about these inks is that when you spray the water, the cardstock that you're working with really comes through. So it's really quite white. So it really does take away a lot of that color. And it sort of, to me, it looked like snow. So for the next idea I had was to create a tree line with this tree stamp from the Winter Sentiments. And another great thing about these inks is that you can do double and triple stamping with them. I guess that's called first generation for the first stamp, second generation, and then you can stamp off another time, a third generation. And as you can see, it creates such crisp images, even though you've already stamped the stamp once or twice. So I'm just going along that skyline and adding some trees here and stamping them off. This is quite a lot of fun to create your scene. And I'm using that same Deck the Halls colors for this set of trees. Now I couldn't leave the red color of ink out, so I took the other tree from the Winter Sentiment set, and I'm going to be stamping that in the Cranberry Fizz. And this is also a nice dark rich color. And you can see here I'm just stamping that all in front of the green trees that I had and going back and forth and filling in some of the empty spots. Now with these ink pads, you have to be careful about over inking your stamps. If you do, you'll get a little bit of a blobby look. So I'm just going to go over these trees that don't turn out perfectly because I, over inked my stamp, and it works out perfectly fine. So it was a lot of fun to just go along and stamp, stamp, stamp. And it's quite a simple card that I'm making here for my scene. Nothing too complicated. So after that, I took out this Sunny Studio stamp called Here Comes Santa. And I wanted him, the outline of him, not the outline, but the silhouette of Santa and the reindeer in the sky. And to stamp that, I'm going to be using the Deck the Halls color once again. And you can see how beautifully this stamps right on top of my ink blended background. So cute. So let's reveal our images. The masking worked quite well, and I picked out some Copic markers to color these cute little images up. So for my bunny, I picked out E33, E21, and E00 for her body. And these are just such adorable images and so easy to color up. And just their little faces, as it's getting me all cheery for the upcoming winter and Christmas season. So as you can see with my Copic marker coloring, I'm starting with my darkest color and going out to my lightest color, and then going over them all once again to deepen up those colors. Sometimes I go from lightest to darkest, sometimes I go from darkest to lightest. For me, there's really no rule. It's just whatever I'm feeling that day and with that particular stamp. So for her nose, I brought in R20 and gave her some rosy cheeks with the same color. And moving on to her hat and her clothes, I've picked out some reds that really coordinate with the Cranberry Fizz color. Those markers are R89, R39, and R37. So I'm continuing on with the same color palette, and that was inspired by the Catherine Pooler inks. And I colored her up to have a little jumpsuit here. You can color these either way, whether she has little mittens or whether she is wearing a jumpsuit. I thought that was a really cute detail that Jamie added into her stamp here. Now for the fox, I'm going to be using E08 and E09. I only picked two colors because I'm just going to color up this nice and simply. I'm calling the bunny a girl because she has little eyelashes, and I guess this is her little foxy boyfriend. And So yeah, and I wanted to say, when I say in my video that I received these products, these were bought with my own money. So I hope you don't think that I received them to promote or anything. These are my own, this is purchased with my own money, and I'm making my own opinions here. And that is how it is pretty much always on my channel. And for his little cap and scarf, I chose G28 and G17. And I'm going to be keeping their white puffs on their hats and etc. Just white. I've actually darkened up her nose with R22, and the stamp didn't stamp quite right, and that's just user error. So I've just darkened that up with my Memento marker there. And that's an easy fix. If you don't get a perfectly stamped image, don't fret, just go over it with a black marker and no one will know the difference. Like I said, that was user error, not the error of the stamp. So I've trimmed my panel down to have it to be 3.5 inches. And that looks quite nice to have those trees overhanging the side of my panel, making it sort of a continuous look. I went through the sentiments and I chose one from the winter sentiment set, and I actually wanted it to say happy holidays, and just before I stamped this down on my panel I realized I had the wrong sentiment. I had the hello winter, but I wanted to have the happy holidays because of the little image of Santa and his reindeer in the back. And I stamped that again with the cranberry fizz ink. So time for some finishing touches to my card. I pulled out this embellishment mix that I got from Sunny Studio Stamps. A lot of other companies have this type of embellishment mix. It has some blue snowflakes and some white snowflakes. So I just chose some white snowflakes and I'm attaching that to my background with some art glitter glue and my Studio Katia pickup tool. And to embellish that further, I took my white Jelly Roll pen and I'm going to make some dots all around the sky to make it look more snowy. And I forgot to mention that I did cut down a piece of cardstock to 7 by 8.5 and folded that at 3.5 inches, and that ended up to be my card base. And I cut my card, this panel that I stamped on, down another 1/4 inch so it had a nice thin white border. I'm also taking this Stardust Jelly Roll pen and adding some more sparkly snowflakes there. And I'm taking this Nouveau glitter drops, and I believe it's called White Blizzard, and it's got some glitter in it, but it does dry on the clear side. I'm just adding some snow hills for these cuties to sit on so they don't look like they're floating. And I'm also adding that same glitter drops to their white puffs on their hat and the trim on their hat. And I needed more sparkles, so I decided to add some drops to the night sky. And I hope you were inspired by my card by using just a few simple products and creating a nice simple scene. I hope you're enjoying your card making and your creating, and I will see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.